If you've only seen the counterfeit or the artificial version of something, will you recognize the original or be drawn to it? As a kid growing up in the 70s, I watched shows like Love American Style and The Love Boat. And they gave this image of romance and sex, and it was all about the pursuit. And really, as a 12-year-old, I was like, this is very interesting. But that's basically all I knew. Hey, it's pretty harmless compared to what the messages are right now that are forming everyone's view of sex, but it really worked against me because it wasn't enough information. So when I grew up, I was like, oh, wow. People don't just want sex all the time, every time. It's not just amazing and wonderful like they portrayed it in the media. So we are going to unpack some of those misrepresentations about sex in media, culture, and religion. And then we're going to find out what the good actually is and why it's better. So today's question is, how do you go after the good and godly in regards to sex when all you've seen has been selfish and harmful and despicable? Ooh, yeah, I used that word. So outside of the mere seconds of pleasure that couples take in regards to sex, there are a lot of negative views going on, and it's absolutely working against us, and we absolutely need to know what the truth is. What are some of these negative representatives? So you can call it selfish. And people engage in sex and they decide what they want, how they want it, when they want it. It's truly a me, me, me. And they're not thinking about the other person. They are just driven by that sense of pleasure. They're driven in some regards as an addiction would drive people. So it doesn't feel loving. It feels like it is a one-person mission. Something else that is a misrepresentation is when it is a harmful expression. And when people are objectified in regards to sex, when there's manipulation, when there's abuse, there is nothing good about that. And it can turn your marriage bed into a battlefield. And it's really puzzling because it's like, wait, we're married now. It should be good because it's okay, right? But if you haven't solved some of these issues, you've just brought them forward and basically added another level to deal with because you're struggling with, hey, we're married. It should be good. And it's not. A lot of times that's when spouses will blame each other instead of digging deeper to find out what were some of their original beliefs about sex that they have never matured and chosen for themselves instead of just had these ideas put on them. And another area I want to address is the despicable qualities of sex. So we know this in sex trafficking, that it's worldwide and it gets more prevalent and more acceptable. We know about pedophiles, how tragic for people to be attracted to children for sex. I mean, there's just almost no words for how horrific that is. And then with gender confusion and the permanent disfiguration that's going on, these are sad times. Our headlines are being flooded with these scenarios. No wonder people don't want to learn more about good and healthy sex because they've been bombarded by these images that are so negative. It's like a mountain full of negativity about sex. And hey, if you are done with that, like I am, then I have some things for you to consider. We want to go back and find out what is God's original design. How did He intend for sexual intimacy to be played out within marriages? And I'm not talking about a religious message. I'm talking about go back to the book of Genesis, go back to the Garden of Eden, and find the good that God had in mind when He created sexual intimacy in marriage. And I'm just going to touch on a few things. So instead of it being selfish, like we mentioned before, it's not pleasure driven. No, this is an intimate connection in spirit, soul, and body. We want the total person showing up. We want oneness between a husband and a wife that includes acceptance, that includes appreciation. We're not just focusing on what I can get from you, but it is what can I sow into us? How can I make our marriage more meaningful, more special? And that spirit, soul, and body means, hey, I see all of you. And that takes me to the next one. Instead of it being harmful, we want to be truly seen and known and valued and understood and loved and emotionally safe. All of those things are a part of God's original design. This is the good that maybe you've never seen, you've never had modeled in your life. Hey, if your parents weren't under these guidelines, then you didn't see it at home. And maybe you missed out on this. I think that's the most common way I would describe it, because if you don't see it, you won't know that it's there. And our beliefs are typically based on the level of knowledge that we have. So I don't hold it against people for not knowing. If you don't know, then how can you believe for something more? And this is one of my greatest challenges as a relationship coach and Christian sex educator, to help couples find the good that is completely outside of what they've been bombarded with. And one more area we were talking about when it's despicable. And that is not God's design. God's design is that you have this, in sexual intimacy, you have this peaceful sanctuary. You have this private paradise, that it's rejuvenating, that it's like your garden to go to refuel, to refresh. It is invigorating, spirit, soul, and body. It draws you closer. It creates that bond, that oneness, that unity. Wow, so much good that God has for you. So I challenge you, can you make the shift? Can you commit to leave the hurt from the world's way and to pursue the good that God has for you, instead of everything that you have known up to now? Now listen, you may be interested but not sure what a next step is. So I have a free ebook I'd love to get into your hands. It's called God's Gift to Marriage, and we unpack the good, the intimate, the fierce, the timeless, the sacredness of everything God designed for you. And it is good. It is better than anything that the world could ever try to imitate. Thanks so much for joining me today. You can look for that free ebook in the notes. And remember, God's design for a thriving marriage is an intimate connection in spirit, soul, and body.